Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the Wrestling Classic Justin back here at the TWC Show with none other than Devin Law. We're back. He's back in the studio. He's done being a good boyfriend and decided to come back to work. So it's a good thing.
Yeah.
How was that? I know your girlfriend's gone.
She's gone back
to England for school.
Yeah, wherever she's
abandoned the show.
Yeah.
You know, it's not bros over hoes on this show. I'll tell you that much.
Don't be calling a girlfriend a hoe on the show, bro.
That is true.
You're gonna get that laptop broken over your head.
That is true. I don't mean like that, but you know what I meant.
She did take my TWC shirt though.
I mean, it's a comfy shirt.
Yeah, she made that comment. So
and more coming soon.
I think anybody with a girlfriend knows I'm never getting that shirt back.
I know, it's unfortunate, though. I'll get you another one, though. We'll get it going.
Talking
about swag, though, Maestro Classic hooked it up.
Big
both
time.
of us got us some swag, and everything I've worn so far has been comfy as hell. I wore the tank top to sleep yesterday. I rocked this shirt today. You got a little setup over there if you can see.
We got the care package.
You know, some shameless plugging over here. You know, we got that care package that Devin was asking for.
Oh, I can't wait. My 2 showers a day are going to be filled with beard care love.
Let's point out, though, now. Let's just point out for all of you out there that might be listening that might own some sort of company or business. If you sponsor the TWC show, we show love. We represent.
Yeah, unlike those other hoes, we are loyal.
Yeah, like, look, we got Cardillo out here. We got Maestro out here. We got Chalkline on me every week almost, basically. We got Maestro on my shirt. Ice Shaker cups out here. Like, we show love, man. If you sponsor the show, you want to send us an email or DM me and say, hey, man, how do we get a plugger in the TWC show? More than welcome to let you guys on.
Open for business, baby.
Yeah, we're open for business. Send us your money. But,
yeah.
I mean, you know.
Everybody's got a price.
Yeah, so we can get a little bit of that, you know. A little bit of that. What's that beverage again?
We can buy a little bit of the bubbly.
Yeah, you go. We'll pop it on the show for you. But yeah, man. It's been a fun week of wrestling, man. I'll tell you that much. It's been good.
Well, Sunday wasn't, but I mean...
I actually enjoyed it a little bit more than you. We'll talk about Clash Champions.
You might be the only one, bro.
I'm not, though. And I asked for people's responses...
And I'm a major WWE enthusiast, and I struggled to find good commentary on that show.
I don't know. There was obviously... Don't get me wrong. There was points where I was like...
Oh, there's lots of good stuff on there. I don't think it was as bad as everyone said it was, but I also don't think, like, you know...
If I was to rate it, like, not rate it, like...
Do it a 10.
Give it a grade, let's say.
Grade's cool.
I would give it like a B- C+.
Yeah, I'd be C to C+, I think. Because the stuff that was good, and you know what? A good ending always makes the show a lot better. But I mean, you know, the tag match with the Champs and Rugler, that was a good match.
Yeah.
I thought the main event was good. So, I mean, it ended well.
There was still things I didn't care about even going into it, and as the show was on, I still didn't care about it.
There was some stuff that just wasn't good.
Yeah, you know? and that's I think that's a me problem. So I know other people really enjoyed it. When I asked that on the Wrestling Classic, a lot of people gave B's and other numbers.
It wasn't as bad as a lot of people are making it out to be, but you know, there's two sides of it. Yeah, it wasn't that good, and then like I've said before, it gets irritating because you know they have it in them to pull off A+ shows whenever they want. But at the same time, we're only paying $10 or $11 for it, and so that kind of doesn't make me upset at all.
I also think we're also looking at two different senses, like two different places for feedback. Because honestly, for me, like the Instagram community is a little bit
positive.
Yeah, much more positive. And then when I was gassing them, or if I was referring back to the pages I check out all the time, like You Sold Out and That's Rude and all the wrestle page, and like there was good positive feedback. But I know the Twitter fan base, wrestling fan, and this is a good conversation to have because.
The power of positivity is almost non-existent on Twitter.
That's the thing. The Twitter, that's where you'll get more of the harsh truth, the real hardcore opinions, and there's good on there too, but the negative stands out more because the negative always stands out more.
You get a lot of the echo chamber. You'll have certain people that either have a following or, you know, write for newsletters and stuff like that. They'll say something that's not even that bad of opinion. It's actually good critique or good commentary, but then it's all the followers and the readers, people like me, they'll come out and then they'll echo it and then keep, you know, it'll go from this was, like we said, we called it was a C+, C- show. They'll turn around and then the more people talk about it, it goes from C+ all of a sudden to like a D- somehow. And people are just echoing the same opinion all over the place. And I'm not saying people don't have their own opinions, but it seems to be a lot of people saying the same thing.
Because the thing about opinions is like when you read stuff, it kind of changes your opinions and gives you different options.
Especially if you haven't seen it yet. Or you're still kind of on the fence about how you think about it.
Like if you go into something reading opinions beforehand and then you watch it, then that's in your mind already, right? Like, I think that's a problem, right? Like, and I'm guilty of it too. Like, I'll have my original opinion. Like, I'll watch them, like, you know, I enjoyed that. But after I read a couple of other opinions, it might change my mind on things. The thing is, on Instagram, they're more positive, so their opinions are great now. I was like, it's a better show than I thought, but you might have a different one because you're on Twitter, that might have changed your opinion.
That's a really good explanation for it, too. And that's, like, a big reason why, like, I love watching, like, the pay-per-views at least live, but I have to be following Twitter the whole time because I enjoy seeing what people think about it, but I'm a critical enough thinker that I'm not gonna let somebody's opinion become my own.
Yeah, and there's a lot of that too.
I know what I'm looking for in a show.
And there's a lot of that too. Like even looking back now, and this happens frequently when I go on the WWE Network, I watch stuff that for like the past 10, 15 years, as like I've been on the internet or reading dirt sheets or on social media when it became more of a thing, and people are talking about old wrestling and reading the old reviews on 4-on-1 Mania and like this sucked and that sucked on this Thunder and this sucked, and I watch it back and I'm like, this WCW stuff wasn't that bad. This WWF, like, it's just, I think it's good to hear other opinions.
I loved WrestleMania 9. Everybody hates it.
I think it's good to have your own opinions. I think it's good to have thoughts and stuff and read other people's thoughts and compare and contrast. But I always think you should always have your own opinions. And I make it a big thing on my page, like on the Wrestling Classic, that we can all agree to disagree. If I post MJF and I'm giving him praise, and there's obviously a little bias there when I praise MJF. If someone comes in and says he's overrated, yeah, sure, it's a subjective thing.
See,
Wrestling's subjective.
And I think that's how you said, like, on Instagram, there's this kind of, especially in your comments, I don't go on it a lot because I don't really use Instagram, but I see there is more healthy, productive discussion within your comments because, there's this general consensus, okay, we can agree to disagree. And I think a lot of that doesn't exist on Twitter, and it makes everything else seem so much more negative because there probably is people out there who choose to stay silent because they don't want their positivity to get shit on.
Do you think there's a stigma on Twitter, though? Because on Instagram, you're not necessarily looking to get reposted.
No, it's about the conversation. It's about the dialogue.
Because sometimes I think people will say things too because they want those retweets. They want those likes.
Well, like how you you like to do your fantasy booking stuff, right? So you'll throw your ideas on Instagram, and people might say, "Hey, that's a really cool idea," or people will say, "Oh, that's okay, but how about this?" Yeah. Whereas it would just be nothing but insults and people calling you names on Twitter for sure.
It's just so weird.
And it's just like, that's just what I thought would be a cool idea. You don't have to like it. And it's the same thing when people, either hate Dave Meltzer or think he's the gospel. It's just like, that's one man's opinion. He's allowed to have it. And, he writes good articles. He does good things. If you don't agree with his match ratings, either don't care about them or just don't look at them.
And that's the other thing too. And we've talked about this off the air so much. Like, I absolutely positively, I have a ton of respect for Dave Meltzer. I have a ton of respect for all these writers and digital writers and whatever. It's not what I would want to do, but I respect what they do and I respect where they've come. And I've met Dave a couple of times. He's been super cool to me and stuff. And it's nothing against Dave ever, okay? And he's not right all the time, first things first.
No, of course not.
Yeah, and nobody is.
He doesn't claim to be either.
Yeah, he's not right all the time. And I just don't like people that use his opinions and thoughts in arguments to defend something.
They use it as a fact.
Yeah. And Dave said this was 5 stars, so it must have been 5 stars.
There's a big difference between facts and opinions. And a lot of people, especially the people who love to argue are typically the ones that aren't really that good at it. Yeah. And they don't understand. They can't decipher between facts and opinions.
Yeah. And you, for people that have followed me for a long time and you being my friend for a long time, like you've known my history with how I grew up watching wrestling. First, I knew nothing about nothing, and that's how I enjoyed it as a kid, as we all did. We knew nothing about nothing when we watched it. Then in my early, I'll say from 14 to maybe in my early 20s. In my early 20s, I was the guy that was on the dirt sheets. I wanted to know the rumors and stuff. But now, I try to avoid that stuff as much as possible.
Yeah, you only hear stuff from me.
Yeah, unless I hear it from you, or if I do see it on social media because someone else is posting about it, I don't.
You'll be like, oh, moving on.
Yeah, I'm not a subscribed to the newsletter no more. I try not to go on WrestleZone or anything. I like to not know things, and if I do know things, it's because of social media.
Even a lot of the sites now I don't really follow anymore. I try to stick to Pro Wrestling Sheet, Wrestling Observer, Torch, and
I even wrote a couple.
Post Wrestling's the wrestling Bible for me.
For some people, I wrote a couple of things for Pro Wrestling Sheet. Ryan Satin gave me a gig for a short-term period. Obviously, it didn't work out.
His site's really good. They do a really good job of fact checking and not posting stuff until they really verify it a lot. So his site or him or his team or whoever are really good at their job.
And I'll say that about Ryan Satin. The time that I did work with him and we conversed or whatever during that period of time about what I should write about this and that, he's very big on trying not to write about just a random BS.
Yeah.
If you don't know, just if something cool happens,
and
he's down about something cool, Big Show got a Netflix show. Let's write about that, something cool.
And he comes from TMZ too, which say what you want about them. They break big stories and they verify it before they get it out there.
Yeah, and I enjoy his podcast and stuff too. Ryan Satin's a good guy. Dave Meltzer's a good guy. all these guys are great and stuff, but like I don't like when their words are taken for gospel. Like,
Yeah.
Just because it was reported, that means it's 100% true.
Mm-hmm.
Now on that note, there's a ton of things I want to talk about. I know we're recording this on Wednesday, and I do want to talk about NXT going live.
We're gonna have to go Conrad and just get you a shirt that says "There's a lot to talk about this week," or "There's a ton to talk about this week."
Because I wanted to start with NXT because I just watched it and it was fresh in my mind. But
Mm-hmm.
the fact that we're talking about reporting things and what's true and what's not true, I think we should talk about the Sasha Banks Chronicle that I watched.
Oh my god.
What?
Yeah, let's do it.
I don't know why you're saying, "Oh my god."
Because I don't know, you highlighted her like she's Stone Cold Steve Austin in his prime or something like that.
Oh, I love Sasha Banks, and I'm not going to deny it.
No, that's fine. It's your
And
show.
I was going to rock a Carmella jacket today, but NXT was so fired that I'm like, I have to wear the Undisputed chocolate
No,
jacket.
it's your show. Let's go. What do
But
you
the
got
thing
to
I
say?
want to say about the Sasha Banks thing, this goes back to the whole reporting and believing what's true or not. So Sasha Banks left after WrestleMania, disappeared, right? We got finally this Chronicle was supposed to be the answers to everything that we wanted to know.
Also produced by WWE,
Why
let's not
should-
forget.
No, 100%, right? And I'm not saying the things that she said that didn't happen, the whole crying on the locker room floor stuff,
She doesn't look like she told a lie in that thing.
might not have happened. Maybe she was crying on the floor. That could have been a thing, but what we found out is that she left because she was upset and she was depressed.
And I mean, like, have you ever been in a locker room? Sometimes sitting on the floor might be more comfortable.
No, I sit on the floor in my own room sometimes. It just, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying what was reported, what was like 110% wrong and might not have been true. She might have been, but I think, and obviously in the Chronicle series, she's like, "Oh, I didn't sit in the locker room floor and cry. Like, we came out to watch a main event, me and Bailey, because and I'm like, that's all good stuff. So we got Sasha's answers. We got the reports. Here's the negative on both Twitter and Instagram. In those 4 months, anytime I posted about Sasha and like, is she coming back? What's the deal? Because it was a mystery and stuff. The backlash she would get for being entitled or getting what she wants and leaving because she was unhappy about the creative and this and that, which might have been the case, whatever, was like she was a bad person. She gets everything she wants. She left.
It's ridiculous.
And I
ridiculous.
literally made a post. I'm like, listen, it could be about those things, but I'm like,
And even if it is, so what?
Yeah. And I was like, don't you guys think
You're
that
allowed.
maybe
You're allowed to want to be satisfied at your career and your job.
Maybe she might just be depressed or upset, just generally in life. Like she's a human being.
Even if it is creative, nobody wants to stay at a shitty job when they're not happy.
And this is what I also added. Like there was a specific post I put in my story the day the Chronicle came on. I said I told you so because in that post I gave a bunch of examples of people that left, Stone Cold, Shawn Michaels, whatnot, and everything. And I was like, as much as it could be wrestling related, I'm like, do you think that she could just be? I'm like, I've been depressed in my life before. There's been 2 times on occasion where I felt really fucking low and stuff. And I'm like, as a human being, and we're around the same age, like maybe she's just going through some stuff. And I also wanted to point out that when there's any artist, any actor, wrestler, athlete, this and that, when you're really passionate about something, you really, like, she really loves professional wrestling. Like, she's loved it since she was 10 years old. That's all she wanted to do. When you stop being happy with the thing you're passionate about, that is something that will definitely make you depressed. The people that are there for money, which is totally fine too. If you're there to get a paycheck and work, you're less likely to get upset and depressed about things than someone that's really passionate about their art or craft.
And like going back to like the whole money thing, one thing that has always irritated me in any field, especially sports, because I'm a big sports fan, so that goes into pro wrestling. People always say they make X amount of money. Why are they whining this and that? And like, I'm sorry, but you need to actually like get out in the world and know a little bit about life and be a little bit educated.
Passionate about something.
But you know what? Like if you had half a brain, you should be able to understand that a very small percentage of people in the world are exceptionally good at what they do. There's the NFL, the NBA, the WWE. When you think about how many people are in the world, how many people are in North America, there's a very small percentage of people who are exceptionally good, excellent, top of the game in their craft. They deserve to get paid a lot. And you cannot hate on somebody for getting paid a lot for being really good at something. Yeah. And just because they're getting paid a lot doesn't mean they need to be quiet about it and be happy. Or they can't be unhappy, or they can't get depressed about things. And that's ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous.
And people are shooting stuff like, oh, she got all these title reigns. She got everything. She was like one of the top people. Like, why is she upset? Like, because she's passionate about her craft, and we've seen it happen before. And I made a comment back then, like, yo, Shawn Michaels was on top of his game, and he lost his smile. And it was funny because at the end of the Chronicle,
he left every time he had to drop a strap.
And it was funny because at the end of the thing, like, even Sasha Banks was like, I lost my smile. Hi, Shawn Michaels. I'm like, that's because it's people that are really passionate about what they do and they want to be the top guy, and it's not just about making all that money. Like
all the great pro wrestlers, they want to make good money and they want to be involved in good stories. And she wasn't getting the chance to be involved in good stories, and she had every right to be upset.
And she made a point too. Like she's like, that list that I made when I was a kid, saying all these things I want to achieve in wrestling. She's like, I achieved all those. And then maybe she came to a point she's like, she didn't know what else to do. And when you're that passionate, you love something so much, and you don't know what else to do. Yeah, you get upset. Think about it. You know what I mean? Like she did everything she wanted to do, and now she's like, what do I like? You know, and she needed this break to revive herself. And honestly, everybody in that company deserves a break at some point because they work really hard. Like from the conversations I've had with the wrestlers that work there and staff, like they're on the grind 24. It's not an easy job working for the WWE.
I've seen everyday folk and just how grumpy and just unbearable they are in the airport. Yeah. And they might do that twice a year.
Yeah.
Imagine these guys, like what, 4 or 5 nights a week? Come on.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And you know, and I just want to point that out because the Chronicle, maybe she was laying on the. Maybe there's some things are true. Maybe some things were produced by the WWE, so maybe there was some fiction in that part too. I just want to say, like, don't believe everything you hear.
I just think it's really naive to take something WWE produced as like the full-on truth.
No, but I'm just saying, don't take anything as the full-on truth. Yeah. Like, because there was people that took the stuff that was being said in the dirt. She's like, she was upset about losing the tag title. She was crying on the floor, and they took that and like, look, she's a spoiled brat. Like, she's in the title. Like, and I don't want to be that guy that says I told you so, but I was one of those people that was like, I don't know. We haven't heard from her. Maybe she was actually depressed.
Yeah, but both can be true. She could have been going through some mental health issues and at the same time still really upset with creative.
No, and 100%.
They don't have to be.
I'm just saying, but people were judging her just like it was just a creative thing. Like she's not a human being, and I'm like, that's unfair. And is she? Does she come off?
But like you also can't fault people for saying that in the moment. What would make you a really shitty person is finding out that she was depressed and still not understanding.
Which is still a thing.
That's worse. That is worse. Sure, yeah, we all have our opinions and we make mistakes and you think certain things in the moment. But hindsight is always 20/20. So the real judge of somebody's character is if you find out about, you know, the way she was feeling in hindsight.
Like how Ryan Satin sent her that tweet after the fact.
What?
Saying that he wouldn't report things like that if he doesn't know for sure.
Yeah, okay.
But that's basically what you're saying. But no, I get what you're saying. And I wanted to point that out. I'm happy Sasha's back. I think, honestly, her absence made the heart grow fonder, and now she's back, and it's a bigger deal.
Yeah.
The Chronicle is really well produced. I know the guy that produces it. I don't have his name on right now, but it's like Red Light 45 something on Instagram, and I tag him every time I post about the Chronicle.
Those are always so well done.
So shout out to him.
Why can't they put that stuff on the weekly show, like that kind of producing?
Little clips and stuff, right?
No, just that kind of producing.
Yeah, no, I get what you mean.
Because their in-ring promos and the backstage segments suck.
Yeah, but it's a conversation we could have, actually. It's true. But would it be too Impactish? Because I remember a time when Impact would try to make clips like that with different angles and stuff and like try to produce it that way. And I'm like, yo, this looks way too
I'm talking about sit-down interviews, man. A good produced sit-down interview.
There was a point.
Like what they were doing with Brock at one point.
There was a point they would put like these awesome sit-down interviews just on YouTube, and I'm like, why isn't this on Raw?
Yeah, the ones with Michael Cole.
Yeah, and I'm like,
every single one of those.
And I'm like, yo, there's a 3-hour Raw that you guys are trying to find filler for. Why can't these sit-down interviews be on Raw?
Every single one of those was good. He's really good in that position.
Yeah, no, I agree. But anyways, if you guys didn't watch the Chronicle, check it out. It was really good. I just want to talk about that Sasha thing because anyone that's confused or still thinks like, oh no, she's and don't get me wrong, there was moments in there she still sounded entitled, but it was in a way that if I said it, it would be okay. But just because she's a wrestler, it sounded like she's being egotistical. And she's like, I'm doing this for myself and stuff.
But
like,
people didn't say the same things that they said about her about Moxley. They were all praising him for it.
And if she's doing it for herself, I'm doing this for me this time. And I was like, yeah, you should do this for you. Definitely do it for you.
Yeah.
Don't do it for us. You already do enough for us. We should, you know what I mean? Like, you're on our TV entertaining me every week. That's all I need from you. Like, whatever.
So we're going to have like a weekly Sasha segment, I guess?
Probably. That's what happens.
Yeah.
She's my favorite. I'm going to talk about her.
Yeah, fair enough.
And I'm not going to lie about it. Other than that, the Chronicle is good. Another thing that stood out to me this week before we get to Clash and Raw and SmackDown is, I don't know if you've been watching the roads to AEW and TNT and like being the elite.
I watched clips of the latest road to AEW, I think it was, and I watched some of the Control Center stuff and the MJF stuff.
So there's 2 things I want to talk about both those things. One, obviously the MJF stuff, and not even just MJF because he's a pro. Everything he touches and is doing is just like must watch.
It's so good.
He's got his character. He's committed to it.
Yeah, it might just be him too.
Yeah, and like he's just
I don't know if he can stay in character on that at 24/7.
You know what it is? MJF, that might just be what him. He gets to do right now is he gets to be and say the things that sometimes we're thinking that we won't say aloud. Like he gets to say it now because it's a part of his character, and it's great.
Yeah.
But the thing that I love the most, that stood out to me the most about both of those things, if you didn't know, is that he was interacting with Tony Schiavone.
Yeah.
And I know I'm so happy Schiavone's back doing this stuff.
That Control Center looked dope.
It was so good. And it just gives me the vibes of like you know, back in like
Sean Mooney in the control center.
Sean Mooney or Bobby, like when the on-air personalities had good chemistry with the superstars.
Yeah.
So when you see them on there together, you're like, oh, this is gonna be some good stuff. Like if you saw Heenan with a certain wrestler, like you knew this was gonna be good stuff. Like you saw Heenan and Piper, right? Like you knew that was gonna be money.
Like Gene and Macho or Gene and Okerlund.
Like when you saw, like sometimes we watch it be like, when I see Kayla walk up to someone, I don't expect it to be like good. Like you know what I mean?
You
like,
kind of had that feeling with Renee sometimes. Though. Renee was really good.
Renee was good. And I love Kayla, Charlie Truth.
But I also don't think they're allowed to really have that interaction.
There's certain superstars that make it work, like a Kevin Owens or a Chris Jericho on the WWE television. They'll make those people matter.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, so I'm not like saying AEW is better than WWE because WWE does it when they do. Like Renee and Kevin Owens had great chemistry and stuff too.
But I mean, when you see all of their backstage announcers sound and talk the same, you gotta believe that that's like a direction.
Yeah. No, for sure. But I'm just saying, like I'm already looking forward to more segments that involve Tony Schiavone and MJF because
honestly, I just think anything with MJF is going to be money.
Yeah, but I was that was one thing that really stood out to me about those. I loved the back and forth. I'm like, this is very reminiscent to like 80s, 90s on-air personality with a superstar type of chemistry.
Yeah. And
also the second thing is I love what they're doing with Kenny Omega.
Why?
The whole him having a breakdown.
No, it was super corny.
Yeah, and I'll say also corny, but I like the story they're telling with it. The fact that he's been losing and now he's like losing his thing, or he might be drinking.
Really seems like New Japan was really holding him in line from being kind of weird.
The part that I do think was kind of cheesy was like the Young Bucks being like, "Hey man, don't post it," like da 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 da. But like it was good stuff. I think it's telling a good story. Then obviously it's gonna intertwine.
The story they're trying to tell is gonna be really good
because he's gonna come out of this and like something.
He's just kind of corny.
Yeah. Just generally, but like I enjoy that. But talking about AEW though, I want to give a quick shout out to the Swings and Misses podcast. Jennifer Decker, Cody Decker, and the other co-host Eddie Pence. Really good show, man. They just had JR on there recently. It's like they separate the show into like 3 separate hours, and they were doing some funny stuff with JR, man. They had JR doing like ASMR and stuff, and like calling baseball and everything. But yeah, shout out to them. We're gonna try to get Jennifer Decker on here prior to the next AEW thing to kind of, do some predictions and stuff with us. She's super dope. But go check out the show, guys. Swings and Misses. It's also on it's on iTunes and all those places you can listen to podcasts. But I got him to make an Instagram page too, so follow him on Instagram, man. And that's a really good show, man. And definitely check out the interview with JR because I also listen to Grilling JR, but sometimes you get JR that's very like wrestling JR. This was JR having fun. Yeah, it was really funny.
After a couple Moscow mules.
Yeah, and they were talking. They went out with him drinking the day before. It was JR having fun. Yeah. So check out that episode of Swings and Misses with Jim Ross, and shout out to Jennifer. She's dope. Yeah, man. And then what else has been going on this week? Oh, now to it. NXT. We're recording this on Wednesday. They just went live on USA. I know you haven't got to watch it yet.
That's all you want to talk about, Clash?
Huh?
That's all you want to talk about, Clash?
No, we're going to talk about it.
Oh, okay.
I just want to talk about NXT.
Because it's fresh.
Yeah, because it's fresh. And I want to kick off the show talking about it, but that didn't happen because it's Wednesday night. Before we got to the studio, the last thing I just watched was NXT. And boy, did they shock the system for that first episode. The Undisputed Era holds all the gold.
I'm not sure how AEW can touch anything NXT is going to do, man.
Dude, and the fact that the fans are already kind of accustomed to who these guys are.
Kind of.
Really accustomed to who they are. No, but there's new fans.
All in 300% accustomed.
Yeah. No, but there's new fans, 100%. With them being on USA, there's going to be new fans.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the people in the building. So
we might be talking about,
right. Yeah,
no, 100%. Full sale. Full sale is 100% custom.
They had, on TV, they're going to have a lot of work ahead of them introducing them to people because, I think I don't really know the channel changing stats off the top of my head, but I think people do have a tendency to change the channel if they see someone they are not familiar with and they're not like super interesting. You see someone like the Fiend, you're gonna stick around and see what's going on. But you see somebody who's just a guy without a vignette or a really good match to showcase him or her, you might get some channel changing. So you're right about that. They got some accustomed to get to.
Yeah, but they hit it off with a bang, man. They did the smartest thing. The first guy that everyone saw when that show started was Triple H cutting a promo like.
Great speech.
Boom. Yeah, and the hype was real. Like, I wasn't even watching it yet, and someone DM'd me because the worst case scenario that we have here in Canada is actually not on TV.
Triple H makes me feel so like proud that I've always watched NXT. Oh man,
like we're part of this. We are NXT.
He should be a football coach, man. He'd win the Super Bowl for sure.
But the crappy thing is it's not on TV here in Canada, so I did have to stream it this week. The first hour.
We're gonna have to watch it on Thursdays in full.
Yeah, so I streamed the first hour. It wasn't live, so I kind of missed the Triple H speech, but I saw it on Instagram and on social media because a lot of people were reposting it on the stories and stuff, and it was really good. And then the first match, the
I'm
Fatal
thinking
4.
since we record on Wednesdays, we just have a little screen here, just kind of off screen, so we can
You
kind of
pitch
watch
that
it in the
today,
background.
maybe? Like, we should do that?
Just have it on in the background, so if something happens, we can talk about it live.
Yeah, because I didn't watch the second hour.
Yeah.
I did not see the second hour. But
Do it live.
Leo Rush made his return, which I am hyped about that.
I heard
Pete
him.
Dano's,
I heard him in Oni Lorcan tore it up.
I know, I got to still watch that. Pete Dano's on there. But for that first hour, I did watch the first hour. The women's Fatal 4-Way was really good with Mia Yim, Io Shirai.
Walter and the Imperium were there?
Yeah, they were there. But on the second hour.
Yeah.
So I only saw the Io Shirai, Mia Yim, Candice LeRae, Bianca Belair match, which was a really good match. Really showcased the women really well. So if that's what they're trying to showcase for the USA, like they did. Candice LeRae is the new #1 contender. Super cool. I love her.
I'll watch Io or Candice wrestle 7 days a week.
She's probably going to get rocked by Shayna.
Oh, yeah.
Well, for you, because you watch NXT a little bit more than me, what happened with Rhea and Shayna? Has that just not happened yet?
I don't think they're just like in NXT. You got to kind of earn your spots. So it's not like WWE where you show up and promo somebody and you get a title shot, right?
Yeah.
So I think after Candice takes a beating from Shayna, we'll see Rhea go in there and hopefully take that belt from her, because I'm really done with Shayna's run.
Yeah. No, it's been a while, and I thought Rhea
the EO stuff was really good, but other than that, like I'm just not that interested in her matches.
Yeah, and I thought that Rhea was gonna take it, but I guess they're gonna go with Candice LeRae first. I mean, Rhea Ripley. I thought she's gonna take it.
Right.
But Candice is the number one.
Match.
I know she's the #1 contender right now. So, I think Candice she has that same heart and like the same kind of feeling that her husband Johnny Gargano has.
She's just a really good pro wrestler and a good babyface.
Yeah, no, that's something like that white meat babyface. Where like that she's in it. Like Johnny Gargano, like you fight, even though he's in his ass.
She's like this cute little girl next door too. So when she's getting beat up, you're just like you want her to start firing up, and then she can fire up and get aggressive.
Like her husband Johnny Gargano, they're very similar in that way. So I think it's gonna be a good bout. But then I watched the main event of the first hour, I should say, of Velveteen Dream versus Roderick Strong, and hell of a match, hell of a finish.
Whenever I watch Roderick Strong, I always find myself saying, like, dude, you're just hurting these guys.
Yeah.
He doesn't hold anything back, man.
And I definitely was going to rock my Carmella jacket because I just got this cool care package from
we get
Chalkline.
it. You have a Carmella jacket, man. Oh,
I know, but when I saw the Undisputed Era take all the gold and remember that NXT was going live today, I'm like, we're going to rock the Undisputed Era jacket today.
Yeah, there's room on the bandwagon for you, I guess.
Bandwagon? I've been, like, pulling the wagon for Undisputed Era.
Yeah, maybe because they're the only people you know on the NXT roster.
I've been an Adam Cole fan and Kyle O'Reilly fan and Red Dragon fan with Bobby Fish since like way back when. Roderick, I think I kind of picked up on more since.
Actually, you did buy a Bola DVD, didn't you?
Yeah, 2000. I've always been like a fan of Adam Cole. Ring of Honor, I have like a weird history with. That's why.
Yeah.
If they come from somewhere else, then maybe not. Like if they come from,
I always kind of just watch their clips on YouTube. Yeah. It's impossible to find on TV.
If they come, no, I have it recorded. Like I found the channel, so it just records and I have them all PVR'd. So. And I've been watching this for like forever, but like when they come from like Evolve and stuff, then yeah, sure, you can call me a bandwagon if I jump on somebody late when they came from Evolve.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody's gonna start as a fan.
Because I'll be honest, like I've probably watched before Matt Riddle came to NXT. I probably watched like 5 Matt Riddle matches.
One guy
and 2 of them were like live.
One guy you always heard about, but didn't see that much because it was never really mainstream stuff. But you always saw his name everywhere. Yeah.
And I was fortunate enough to like obviously when I go to WrestleMania stuff, go to indie shows. Like he was on Joey Janela Spring Break and stuff.
Yeah, he'd be one of those guys WrestleMania weekend that had like the most bookings out of anybody.
Yeah, so like those type of guys, maybe you can say I jumped on the bandwagon, but guys like Adam Cole and Red Dragon, like man, I've been on that bandwagon for a while, but so happy for them. Yeah. I was waiting. You know the pieces were falling into place. Adam Cole had the world title. Red Dragon, I shouldn't call him that no more. Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish won the tag titles back, and you were just waiting to see Velveteen drop the title to Roderick, but you didn't know when it was going to happen, and no better day than
or if it would happen.
Yeah, because that was another thing. It was kind of because both guys are great.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Both guys are great.
Every single one of those guys, man. Like they're good at promos. Their characters are dope. They're fun to watch. They look cool, and like their matches are always just nuts.
How do you?
That's like if I'm trying to show somebody some pro wrestling, I'm gonna show them some like Undisputed Era guys matches.
No, for sure. And I know that well, here in Canada we don't even get the first hour on TV yet, but I want to pick your brain on the concept because I was confused about it all day. I thought like the whole 2 hours is going to be on USA and then the second hour is just going to be on the network. And
they announced what it was like weeks ago, so you obviously weren't paying attention.
No, 110% wasn't.
Yeah.
So basically, but I want to know how you feel about it. So the first hour being on TV,
it's only
the
for
second
2 episodes.
That's it?
That's it.
And then it's fully going to be...
I think it had something to do with because Miz and Mrs. has like is in that 1 hour slot there.
See, I didn't know this. This is good.
Something like that. But yeah, after the first 2 episodes, I think it's the same week the AEW starts. Both hours will be on USA.
And then they're still going to air NXT.
October 2nd.
And then they're still going to air NXT
on Thursday.
The Thursday fully on the network.
Yeah.
Okay, because honestly, everyone was asking me, and I didn't know.
All you have to do is read one press release from any of the most recent weeks, and you would have known.
Yeah, I didn't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
Did my research. But anyways, yeah, there you go, guys. For all of you guys commenting and asking me and DMing me and asking me, and that's the answer. And as for Canada, I don't know.
Just use Google. Why are you DMing him? He doesn't even know that much himself.
I know a lot. I just forgotten more than I remember.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. It's a great line, though, right?
It's a Jim Cornette line.
Is it really? I forgot where it came from, but I'm like...
A lot of people have said it.
Yeah, that's the thing. But anyways...
I've forgotten more than you'll ever know.
Yeah. That's like I think Ric Flair said that a few times in some promos, obviously.
Yeah, I don't think so.
It's like Shawn Michaels or something.
No, I don't think
he's
so.
the H. Yeah, I think so. I mean, I watch a lot of promos and a lot of wrestling when I'm finding content. Anyways.
Stealing content.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Anyways, to Chalkline Official, if you guys do want to get an Undisputed Era jacket or anything else, they're dropping a lot of heat all the time. Use Chick Foley, man. Chick Foley has a podcast called The Chick Foley Show. Use her promo code Chick. Chick Foley, Sheena, and Phil, they do their podcast is more if you're like an action figure collector and you love like collecting action figures and that type of stuff, like they're like the second most popular action figure podcast. So like, obviously Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins is probably number one, but right after them, the Chick Foley Show.
How do we get a Chalkline promo code?
I've been asking, I've been hinting it, but
you've been the number one supporter for years.
They're not as quick on that as Maestro. Maestro has a sending a care package, but
you cannot get it right.
It's a Canadian to me. I remember one time.
It's not Canadian. No, there's a Canadian rapper named Maestro.
Is there?
Yes.
I don't know. It's adjusted to me.
Don't say Canadian, dude. That's just such a weak couple. Your English is just not good.
It's great.
No.
But yeah. Anyways, you check out the Chick Foley Show, man. It's a good show. You can find it on iTunes and everywhere else you can listen to podcasts. It's a great action figure podcast. But they also talk about the same stuff, like what's going on, review Raw and SmackDown, and what's going on in AEW and everything else. Sheena and Phil are great people.
Do you think we review stuff? Is that what we do?
We try. Sheena and Phil are great people. So check out the show, Chick Foley Show. And if you're going to go on Chalkline, use their promo code Chick and save yourself some money. And then hopefully sooner or later they'll give us our own promo code.
Yeah, we can use theirs in the meantime.
Yeah, so I just want to show them some love. They've always been showing support. And Chick Foley is one of those people. Sheena, I don't want to keep calling her Chick Foley because that's her Instagram name, and the show the name of the show. But Sheena is like one of the first people to buy a Wrestling Classic t-shirt and rep it. And she's followed the page since like 2014 and just... She's always been a good person.
Any friend of yours is a friend of mine, man.
So shout out to them. But yeah, man. Wrestling. Clash of Champions. A lot of wrestling that day. How do you feel about it?
What do you want to go into first?
I don't want to talk about it top to bottom. Just give me highlights. What was your two things that you would take away from it that you really enjoyed? I mean, obviously we have similar stuff.
For me, I mean... The Fiend, obviously, and Bobby Roode pinning the champ, Robert Roode pinning the Universal Champion clean with his finisher.
And that's great that you brought that up because I did not pick up on that.
And still didn't take the loss on Raw.
I didn't pick up on that.
Somebody has to.
That's nuts. I didn't realize that he pinned. Yeah, he pinned.
Yeah,
Seth.
You always clamor for stories, and they're kind of telling one, and you didn't even pay attention to it.
No, and that's why you're here.
Yeah,
that's
a good Canadian kid, Robert.
That's a good highlight that I can't agree with because I didn't pick up on that. But that's
clean
sweet.
With his finisher, no outside help. 1, 2, 3.
Like we knew that Roode and Ziggler were gonna leave with the titles, but that's like
I didn't.
I felt like I'm like this is how it's gonna break down.
I didn't think so.
I did.
Yeah.
I just like so on that note, I got two of my predictions.
I thought they'd have their Braun, they being pronouns, pal. They being Braun and Seth would have their match and have their little beef, whatever they have. Seth, I consider him a friend. Like, anyways, chill, dude. But they go on, and I thought they would have kept the belts for a little while and kept it going because I mean. Why not get another match out of it? It's not like Seth has contenders lining up at the door. And I mean, like, they're kind of rushing this Fiend thing, which I mean, I am not going to complain about. So I'll stop right there. That'll be my last criticism of it because why not? Hot shot it, whatever you want to call it. It's going to be great. It started great. And it's going to be awesome. But I like I said, I just thought they were going to keep the tag titles for a little longer.
The one gripe I have about that tag title match, if we're talking about that, like the Bobby Roode thing, I didn't know that's amazing.
Justin's grapes.
Yeah, I was down with them. I was down with them winning the tag titles. I figured that was going to happen because I figured this is the thing. I figured when they lost the tag titles, it was always going to have some.
What are you going to call them?
I don't know, man.
I'm going to call him Rugler.
Rugler?
Yeah, okay. I think so.
So when Rugler won the titles, I was down with it. I knew that was going to happen. Obviously, there was going to have some sort of miscommunication between Braun and Seth to make them lose the titles. Like, that's initially what I predicted last week and stuff, too. But I feel like they didn't give us enough tension between Seth and Braun after the match.
No, you're right.
It just kind of seemed like they were disappointed in each other. But, like, hey, if you guys are going to face each other for the title, let's be a little bit more than disappointed in each other.
Or at least, like, give Braun more of a heel edge. Give Braun more of a heel edge, so at least it's like, okay, this is going to be a war now.
Yeah. Let Seth get, like, frustrated about it. Like, kind of give Braun, like, a a push out of nowhere that he didn't mean, and then Braun take him out or something.
Yeah, keep it old school. You know, what's old is new. Whatever used to work, if it still works, keep doing it. Like you said, have him accidentally bump into Braun or something like that. Braun shoves him down, maybe gives him a power slam after they lose the thing. Because, like, I mean, you need. I think it needed that sort of heel edge from Braun.
Yeah.
And, like, we didn't and don't need a babyface Seth promo. Let's see Seth do his acrobatics and fight as the underdog. For one, he's a big, tall, he's a heavyweight.
And they did really well with the main event, though.
There's not many times where you're going to be able to portray him as like the little underdog. So they could have really done that. And it's simple, and I don't know why they don't do simple things like that.
Match-wise, though, they did let Seth play that underdog.
That match was awesome.
It was great. Like, they did, in the match-wise, they told that story. I just mean going into it, they could have told it better.
I agree with you for sure.
Yeah, because I don't want that whole, like, oh, Devin, I'm disappointed in you. I want them to be like going into that match like, oh, these guys, he's pissed or something. Like, that's the only gripe I had about that thing. Obviously, we can both agree a huge highlight was the finish.
How much the tag titles mean.
The highlight was the finish with the Fiend coming out and doing that. That was just a cool visual, both then and at the end of Raw.
What else is even on that card?
There's
Sasha Becky was awesome.
Awesome match. Awesome. I like, and people that complained about the finish, like, if you didn't pick up that, this is going to Hell in the Cell.
That was an angle. It wasn't meant to have a clean finish.
If you didn't pick up that this is going to Hell in the Cell,
it was an ends to a mean, and it was great and it did 100% everything it was supposed to do.
Protected both of them. Sasha didn't. They got a first loss in a singles match.
Forget protecting. Still they gave us a great match and a reason to have another one.
Yeah.
That's Pro Wrestling 101.
So, but it was a good match. And it was like, if there wasn't a Universal title match that was going to end with the Fiend coming out, that could have been the main event.
And I think they did a real good job of not announcing that DQ till a lot later.
Yeah.
Because then the crowd probably would have turned on it. But because it was after the brawl, all this stuff had happened, and the match was really good, it kind of just went over people's heads. Like, everybody knew it was a DQ, but I think if they had just announced it right after that chair shot, that I think the crowd would have turned on it, and we wouldn't be talking about it as positively as we are now.
No, 100%. I also really enjoyed how Bayley won her match against Charlotte. It was funny.
That was the only good thing. She ran away, and that shit was hilarious.
Because, like, now it's like she is this weird heel that's like...
And it's so funny her, like, after a match, like, ponytail half coming out or whatever, just runs out there, grabs the belt, and sprints out.
And it wasn't... when the match started, I'm like, please don't make this a long match. I really don't care about it. And they did it. They did it in a funny way.
I just thought the same thing I always think. Please don't let Charlotte win.
Yeah. In North Carolina, she could be the 10-time champion. It was
nobody wins in their home.
No, I'm just saying, but just don't. I was on the same boat. I mean, like, I didn't want her to win yet.
If they were in Boston, they would have had Sasha tap out.
I don't know what they're doing with those two, but like, I'm happy that Sasha and Becky are going to the Cell. And then the Revival
I think they're going to keep that going and have a good Survivor Series match going
like
on.
Team Sasha and Becky Team Sasha and Bayley versus Team Becky and Charlotte.
I'm here for it.
And now, and they're already kind of building to it. Like, we'll talk about that with the Carmella getting involved in SmackDown, but I was really happy the Revival won the tag titles.
Yeah.
And the promo after, and it gave me hope that FTRKO is going to win all the belts.
That was a good match, too. But nothing memorable happened in it, but it was a good match.
It was a good match.
Revival doesn't have bad matches.
I thought FTRKO was going to win the belts. I was all for it. And then obviously Randy did not beat Kofi.
Oh, my God. Randy got treated like a nobody, huh?
No, I think he's
You know what, though? Their outer ring stuff's been great. Their matches haven't been good. And I'm glad it's over.
They haven't been bad. They've just been matches.
Kofi has to find a way to hit that next gear like he did with Daniel Bryan.
They've just been matches. That's all they've been. That's the thing.
He's going to beat Brock, though.
Yeah. Oh, and that's the thing. Like, now that Randy didn't win the belt, first I was kind of upset about it because I wanted to do like the 6-man Hell in the Cell thing I've been pitching. But seeing what happened on SmackDown this week, I'm like, okay, this makes sense, I guess.
Could still see the 6-man Hell in the Cell.
Is the debut on Fox?
I think it's after.
That's the thing.
Because that's in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And Hell in the Cell's in 3 weeks.
Because that's what makes the difference, right?
He's going to beat Brock.
You think so?
Somebody's going to help him.
Well, someone needs to put Kofi really, really over. Because I thought Randy Orton was going to do that, but you're right. It didn't really do that.
But
it did it.
I don't know. There's nothing like confirmed or verified, but I'm also hearing that we're going to see a lot more dates from Brock on SmackDown because of the Fox money coming in. So
it's nice
to see. That track would be back around. And if you saw Brock maybe even once a month, I'm all for it.
And you know what? Like,
wrestling is a lot better when he's around.
As an old school fan, as someone that's obviously been watching as long as we've been watching, something about Brock on SmackDown just feels like he's more at home. Because we're so used to him on SmackDown back in the day.
Yeah.
That was like his brand. That's what he carried in those 2 years that he decided to be here.
I was just going to say for like a year and a half.
Yeah, for those 2 years that he decided to be here. Like,
you remember things happening a lot more frequently and going on a lot longer than they actually did.
No, I don't know the word to use.
You're very nostalgic.
Yeah, well, look, I'm the wrestling classic.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of pair Brock with SmackDown more than I do with Raw. Just is my brain.
I think anybody that was around in that time would too.
Yeah, but the one last thing I'll say about Clash Champions that surprised me and was a highlight and was really good was Luke Harper's back. I love that guy.
Oh yeah.
So glad he's back. I had no idea.
They got the first names back, baby.
Yeah, I had no way how Eric Rowan Reigns match was gonna go. I had no idea which way it was gonna go. And when Luke Harper came out, I'm like, only thing is we talked about this, me and you, about how this is Eric Rowan's moment to shine, and his entire career he's been with either Luke Harper.
I don't think it was.
Yeah, I said this might be right, and I'm like, he's always been with someone, but now he's back with Luke. But I don't hate it at all.
No, why would you? The Bludgeon Brothers was great, and if they weren't called the Bludgeon Brothers, it'd be really great.
Yeah, and obviously being a bigger fan of Luke than Eric generally.
He's one of the best wrestlers in the company.
I'm just happy they have something for him to do rather than him sitting at home.
You look at it, right? Eric Rowan beat Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
Okay? On the same pay-per-view, Bobby Roode pinned Seth Rollins. Okay?
Yeah.
That's pretty sweet.
That's insane.
Do you know what I mean?
No, it is. I have to agree. You're right.
Yeah, I don't hate that at all.
I don't hate any of this stuff. I just want to point out that
a lot of it wasn't that good.
Yeah. I know. I was trying to point out that we did say like, "Oh, this is Eric. This might be Eric Rowan's moment," but I like this Luke Harper thing.
I think Gable and Corbin could have really helped that show.
Definitely, but I guess
but
Gable's the reason
got
to
see
turn
it
to
on
Raw.
Raw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And well, let's get to Raw. The last thing I want to say about
Maria Kanellis is having a boy. Woo.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
The last thing I did want to say
might be the greatest angle of the year.
No. The thing.
No, it's not.
And I think I was happy to see Rusev back. What a crappy way to bring him back.
Oh my God, he looks shredded.
Yeah. I don't know about the facial hair situation.
Yeah.
I don't know how down I am with that.
Looks great.
He needs Maestro to help him.
We all do. We all need a little Maestro in our lives.
Yeah, but when he gets that beard back, because they'll shape it up for him.
No,
this is what I think happened.
I like the stash.
I think this is what happened, because there was once upon a time when Rusev was off the road for a bit. He went live streamed on Instagram. Mm-hmm. And he started complaining about how he went to a barber that messed up his beard, and he kept shouting out Maestro, saying like, "This is what happens when Maestro doesn't shave my beard." Like, I'm never getting my beard trimmed by anybody but instead of Maestro ever again. It was such a funny live stream.
Yeah. So
I'm like, he's been gone for a while. Maybe he just couldn't fix his own beard, and he was like, "Okay, taking it off."
You've had funnier theories.
No, that's just I know, but I'm just saying that's like a thing that happened. So maybe that's what happened.
I don't watch live streams. I have a life.
See, that's the difference. You're a Twitter guy. But yeah, so.
Love the mustache, love the return.
I don't like the mustache, but I want the.
But I mean, God, how many infidelity angles is this guy gonna be in?
And
every angle they put him in, he's cheating on someone, or someone's cheating on him, and I'm like, or someone's banging his wife. Like,
and what is this gonna bring Lana back? Because what is she gonna do? Fight Maria Kanellis? Do we want to see a Lana versus Maria Kanellis?
We don't want to see no accent Lana on TV ever again. We don't need to.
You know, like, are we gonna see Lana versus Maria Kanellis though? When she's like, I don't get it.
No thanks.
I love the backstage segments a little bit though, because the primetime players and Titus O'Neil made me crack up. Just like, I don't know.
I love the primetime players.
Yeah, and Titus.
Not the primetime players. The Street Profits.
I mean, the Street Profits and Titus O'Neil.
Oh no!
Oh my God!
What have I done? What have I done?
The primetime Profits.
Yeah,
but
no, I hope not.
I enjoyed seeing the Street Profits, Montez and.
Did you call them the primetime players?
I did.
Oh, that's
was my fault. I enjoyed seeing the primetime players and Titus O'Neil.
You got me.
But no, I enjoyed seeing the Street Profits and Titus O'Neil having some interaction. There was some funny stuff.
Millions of dollars.
Yeah, but that was the low part of Raw. The high part was the entire Firefly Funhouse thing that went throughout the entire episode. Mm-hmm. From the beginning to the end, the upside down graphics, which I still think was an actual error that they blamed on the Firefly Funhouse, which is the smart thing to do.
You're talking about like the best production team on the planet.
No, 100%.
That was not a screw up.
They've made mistakes before.
Yeah, like spelling and stuff. So it's probably like Billy Kidman like drunk or something.
But even if you want,
messing up a graphic.
But even if you want to blame it on the Firefly Funhouse, like, I'm down with it, because that's if it was.
You know what
great.
though? We're not.
We don't know.
We're not going to get into this super deep dive marquee newsletter talk about what happened with the graphic. It was upside down. It was a cool effect. Whether it was
and it was fun.
Let's leave it at that.
It was fun.
Yeah. But yeah, the Firefly Funhouse stuff, excellent.
There was one guy you sold out on Instagram. He started making all his posts about Raw upside down on purpose, and I was like, this is funny. Mm-hmm. But
very topical.
Yeah. And then the ending, dude. The segment at the end with Kane coming out. And I love the whole 24/7 thing with Kane and R-Truth. That was funny stuff, and being the mayor and whatnot. But Kane coming out at the end to save Seth Rollins.
R-Truth, he's like, you look familiar.
And Carmel's like, he doesn't even recognize who this is, and like, and you knew it was coming, and the being at the stadium, him running into the pole, like, it was funny. But anyways, Kane coming out to help Seth Rollins.
You got a rundown on there. What else happened on Raw? I feel like some decent stuff that are worth talking about.
Oh no, the King Corbin, obviously.
After that, I'll go after that.
King Corbin, honestly, and good match. Still put Gable over, even though he didn't win. Because there were moments that made me believe he was going to win, and I cared.
I challenge you to tell me the last time Baron Corbin had a bad match. It's been months.
Yeah. No fair.
Since he came back.
Did you see Randy Orton's
Since
tweets?
I was drinking heavily. I take this back.
He's like,
I apologize.
one of the
to all
only
my
guys that gets it
coworkers.
these days.
Oh my god, but no, dude, he hasn't had a bad match. But I mean, like, who can have a bad match with Gable? But either way, Corbin's been killing it. And as long as they don't make him wear a crown and a cape,
yeah, I'm glad that they had Gable
going around
it.
saying that he's the king of the ring is excellent.
I'm glad that
I'm being really positive.
They had
today.
Gable crush it and stuff that day. Like,
give me credit. I'm being really
no,
positive.
you are. You're
today.
being positive.
Right?
And the Randy Orton stuff is hilarious. And for anyone that hasn't watched that little Intercontinental title panel thing that they did on YouTube with Kathy Kelly, with Christian, Randy Orton, and The Miz, watch it. I'm gonna be posting clips of it. Maybe
yo,
in the next couple
social
of days,
media Randy needs to make his way to TV.
Yeah, because he is
so funny, and he's just like a smug bastard.
He's that like cocky, arrogant,
older jock guy.
He's just, who doesn't give a f about anything,
no.
and like just
and he's actually like he's just like a slimy dick,
and it's a good personality. It's a real thing, and I think that needs to make TV.
And he's clever
because the Legend Killer. I mean, not the Legend Killer. The whole Viper, sneaky, dark guy. It's run its course.
Done with it.
It's run its course. So let him be Randy, who he is in real life. Because he's got a personality that's fun to see and stuff. And when I post those clips,
funny. I think anybody who follows him knows he's funny.
When I post that clip, follow him on Twitter because you always send me funny tweets that he tweets, and I'm like, because I'm not on there all the time. And I'm like, these Randy Orton. I get excited when I see you send me a Randy Orton tweet. I'm like, what did this guy say now?
That's real cute.
I'll
keep it up.
But yeah, if you guys, I'm gonna be posting clips from that Intercontinental title panel. Check it out. But yeah, Baron Corbin and Gable's good, solid stuff.
I just want to say, the AOP.
Yeah.
Great promo.
Oh, 100%.
How hard is it to just do subtitles for these kind of guys all the time? Imagine what we could see with Andrade, Shinsuke, Asuka. It's not hard. Look, it came off well. They look good in suits. They look menacing. They come off scary. We know they can wrestle. How hard is it to just give these people who they're paying a lot of money for that they just end up making look like fools and forcing them to speak English, which I know they can speak English, but it's cool, and we got subtitles. They could do their thing.
This is what I say. Yeah, they can speak English.
I just cannot stress enough. Like, just use subtitles. It's not hard.
They could have done this for so many people, and this is a thing that I'll say. Yeah, they can speak English. We know that. We've heard them speak English.
Well, guys, BC boy.
Yeah, Ikam. But I want to say this. And for those that don't know, Ikam was speaking Punjabi. So same thing that Ginger speaks, and the Singh brothers, and they were doing promos in our language, because I speak Punjabi. And then I think Rizar was playing
Arabic or something like that.
Yeah, Arabic or form of Farsi.
Yeah,
one of the forms
like
of Farsi, like the
and it's cool, and they look dope.
And I like that they're speaking two different languages and they're showing their cultures. And the subtitles thing was great. But I don't know if you listened to last week's episode, but one of the things I brought up is that there are certain people that you can, and Sasha being one of those people, Seth sometimes being that person, that they're good at cutting promos and stuff, but they're not confident in what they're saying.
They're serviceable, and that's all you really need to be. And they're not confident
what they're saying.
For how long, that's all really Bret Hart was.
Yeah.
And he was a top guy.
And you can see that the wheels are spinning their head because they're trying to remember what to say. The one thing I say, when these guys are speaking their own language, they seem so confident and comfortable.
The gears aren't turning.
They seem comfortable.
Yeah.
When he was speaking Punjabi, when he was speaking, I'm like, they feel comfortable with what they're saying. Like, they know.
And that's what I said. See, they were sitting down.
Yeah.
It was pre-recorded. There were subtitles. They got to do their own thing. How hard is that? Imagine how many A+ shows we can get in a row if they just keep it simple. Then that's, like, I get it. You got to make the writers feel like they're doing something. You got to make the writers feel like they're important, like they're part of the show. But you know what? Let wrestling people do wrestling things. Keep it simple.
And I know backstage promos sometimes are pre-recorded, but you talk about this all the time. Like, does everything have to be in the ring? Because sometimes the pre-recorded stuff is what helps these characters become bigger. Because like, look back in the day, all the 80s stuff and the 90s stuff, those backstage promos and those.
And certain things should be in the ring, like when Rey Mysterio was doing his like fake retirement thing. I think that's a thing that should have been in the ring.
But I mean, like when you do these pre-recorded promos, you get these guys to cut promos like this, like that, and
you get 2 or 3 takes, you get the verbiage down,
and
you can, like they do in NXT,
perfect their character.
Like they do in NXT. You sit back and look in the video and say, how can we make this better?
Yeah,
because you know what, it's a TV show. It doesn't have to be live. The wrestling should and needs to be and always will be, but a lot of the character building stuff, you have all this money in your production. You have the best production team probably on the planet. So make these guys look like stars. Like, you're paying them a lot of money. Why make them look like idiots?
Like, I'll give you an example, and I'm not using him for any particular reason. It's just the name that came to my head. Imagine we barely see Bobby Roode on the mic, right? Like, we barely see him on the mic now, right? And he's really good on the mic, so this is the worst guy to use for this example. But I'm saying, imagine they threw Bobby Roode on the mic tomorrow and it's an in-ring promo and he was not doing that good. It's because the guy hasn't had opportunities to talk on the mic for how long? If they give him a bunch of backstage promos that are pre-recorded,
someone like him, go to anybody's house, have a
Yeah.
pool, have him sitting back in the pool with a bunch of girls talking about how glorious he is, how glorious
Yeah.
his life is. It's simple. We just made the guy look like a star in 2 seconds without even actually thinking about it.
No, 100%. But yeah, that's just our opinions on promo stuff. And I think there's nothing wrong with it, but things could be better if they got to do more backstage pre-recorded promos. And I think guys could figure out their characters and who they are more, and then they're more comfortable saying what they're saying when they're doing it. Because I feel like sometimes you get people there and they're just not comfortable with what they're told to say. And that's the thing, what they're told to say. They don't say it in their own character because maybe they doesn't relate to what their character is, but they're not going to go and be like, this is not what my character is going to say. Not everybody can do that. There's certain guys that can because they're higher up in the company.
Well, like The Rock liked having his stuff written.
Yeah. But like he knew that, but he also was a top guy that could say this wouldn't really work with my character. That would.
Yeah.
I'm saying there's guys, not the top, not the top of the card, the mid card talent.
But even
lower.
there's gonna be top guys too that need that, and so what? There's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that. But you need to go on a case by case basis.
Yeah, no, 100%.
One thing I do want to mention before we move on really quickly
Yeah.
though is what a role my boy AJ Styles is on.
That's what I want to talk about next because
I just want to say I wasn't here last week, and I just gotta say he held his own and looked on the same level as Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh, you weren't here last week.
You see him in the ring with Seth and Braun, those guys. No, and it's like whenever the legends come back, they always seem a tier under. They always seem a rung under. AJ Styles did not come across a rung under. He played his cowardly part, his little chicken shit way. He let himself show ass a little bit, look like a bit of a fool, but he was toe to toe, neck and neck with the greatest wrestler and character in the history of wrestling.
And yeah, you weren't here last week when we talked about this.
And like you saw him in the ring with Seth.
Yeah.
Seth wasn't on the same level, and there's nothing wrong with being a little bit under Stone Cold. So don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But it has nothing. It has nothing to do with everybody else. But that's the level AJ Styles is on.
Because we talked about this last week. You weren't here, so I'm going to bring it up briefly because I don't want to talk about the same thing over and over again. But he's consistent.
You talk about Sasha for like 20 minutes every week.
Because that's Sasha. We can talk about Sasha.
So you do want to talk about the same thing every week?
No, but this I want to bring up because you're talking about AJ Styles and he's consistent.
Yeah.
And the WWE has done because obviously he's been in TNA for so many years. And they don't do this to everybody.
He has never gotten buried.
Yeah, and they've never done this with a lot of guys that come from other companies, but
I see him as a WWE guy now.
Yeah, he's become a top, established star.
Someone like him, someone like Kevin Owens, I don't see them as outside guys anymore. I see them as WWE guys.
But he seems like a guy when he has a confrontation with Stone Cold, we're not just thinking about his 3-year run with the WWE. We're thinking about his entire career. This is a guy that could be on the same level as Stone Cold.
And the way they're going back and forth, he's not only ready for the moment, he's built for that moment.
Comfortable on the mic, can cut good promos, never has a bad match.
Can think on his feet. He's not worried about screwing up. He's there. He loves his job. He's good at it.
He's a vet.
Yeah.
Never has a bad match. Can put people over, even put himself over when he loses. That Styles Clash this week was great on Cedric.
My God, so good. Why wouldn't they do that on the pay-per-view?
I don't know, but it was good stuff. My only question, and the thing I love about the OC right now for the last couple of weeks, is they can come out and attack whoever, and it makes sense because they're just trying to make their mark on Raw and be like, we're running the show.
Yeah, they don't need to. Not everything needs to be surrounded about them. You can have different.
When they came out,
you can build up a bunch of guys at once. It's not that
when
hard.
they came out at the end, it didn't even bother me because I'm like, yeah, hell yeah, the OC's here. Such a pivotal. I hope when this draft happens, because after the draft they announced the wild card rules over, so thank God for that.
I want to see OC versus the Viking Raiders, man.
But I want to keep the OC on Raw because they've been running it right now. And
I think they should stay there.
And what was the other thing I was going to say about AJ Styles? Oh, the only thing I want to pick your brain about, and I asked Ankit this last week too. Do you think that the club should be able to talk a little bit more?
Not necessary yet.
The other two guys?
Not necessary yet.
Because they have personalities too, and we know that.
Yeah, for sure. But that they're not meant to be good guys right now, and their personalities are very endearing.
No, that's true.
You can't not like them.
Yeah.
But Styles is good as a heel, so it's good if
he's a good lead
mouthpiece.
Man. Yeah.
But as far as just being beat down guys that may not be top of the card, they may not be winning all the titles, but they can win some, lose some. They're never really gonna get hurt, and they can really make anybody look good, and they know how to do their job because they've been around for so long.
Is it weird that if?
But no, I don't think they need more promos at all, because you're just gonna end up with the stupid hit you in the nuts stuff, all the goofy shit they had them doing.
Don't you find it weird that if the club was by themselves right now and they were getting the butts, what would be more exciting? But their association with AJ Styles keeps them as a group, keeps them as it doesn't matter what happens to them.
Because there's a certain level that no matter what you do with Styles, he's never gonna go under.
It keeps them cool.
It's almost like where Jericho was at.
No, for sure.
And even if you're not doing much with him, putting him in a stupid match with potted plants, you never really fall in that.
But the thing that surprises me so much is how fast Styles got there in his WWE run, because he's only really been in the WWE.
Yeah, it was that feud and those wins over Cena, man.
Yeah, and even that long title run, he's had that now. It's over. He's a guy.
Those matches with Cena really made people people forget everything and make him think. They made him feel like he was there forever.
And they made him seem like on the same level.
Are you
as
having
Cena.
trouble seeing your screen there?
No, and I'm just trying to see what's next. They made him seem like he's on the same level as Cena, which is tremendous.
I just really wanted to mention that and give out a shout out to our Lord and Savior, the phenomenal one.
Yeah, no, he's a man. But the last thing about Raw before we quickly talk about SmackDown is I did like the fact that Kane came out at the end. It was fun. They're in the city, use him.
And
Good
you're
stuff.
adding more pictures to the legends that he's beating
And that's
up.
a thing.
And you say what you want. He's a legend.
Yeah, and
He's from the Attitude
he is
Era.
a legend.
Yeah.
He's 100. When people discredit Kane, I don't understand that.
And there's nobody that was cooler than like O2 Kane.
Yeah, I don't get it. Like, why do
Yeah.
people discredit Kane? I know he's not at the same level as The Undertaker because that's a comparison people
Nobody
make.
is, though.
Yeah, but he's a legend, dude. He's just as much of a legend
You
as
can
anybody
compare him to
else.
somebody like Big Show, Mark Henry, guys like that.
I still think he's a step bigger, more than that.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But those are the guys you should compare him to.
Yeah. I don't get it, but it was great to see him.
He's just underneath Foley, I think.
Yeah. No, 100%.
Because you'd have like your Undertakers, your Austins,
Yeah.
maybe your Triple H's, Triple H, The Rock, and then you go and then you have like your Foley around that area. Kane's like that, top third, bottom second tier, right
100%. And he is a legend. And when he came out, I was happy. Came out as Demon Kane, and right away, I think anyone that knew what was going on, like the Fiend's coming for him. It happened.
And it doesn't matter.
The visual is great. The way the show went off the air with the Fiend laughing in Seth's face and Seth looking like he was about to cry because got his ass whooped by like 4 guys.
He has to win that strap, man. I don't want to see them prolong it. Have him beat Seth clean.
I know this.
Have him beat the Beast Slayer.
I know this might not be the case. It's just me getting excited because you know how bad I want to see.
They're gonna do some holograms like
no,
they did with
but
that Cena one.
You know how bad I want to see the Undertaker versus the Fiend. So like,
I think we're gonna get it.
So like
maybe Undertaker cost him it. You're saying?
So I'm like that. So like the fact that he attacked Kane out of all people, that's a way you can kind of ignite the feud a little bit too.
Now you're thinking.
You know what I mean? He attacked Kane out of all people. You go to Hell in a Cell. My thing is
that is something Heyman would think too.
Yeah. And then I was sitting there, I'm like, how would you have a finish that doesn't? Because you can't have Bray lose against Seth.
Yeah, Undertaker come out.
That's what I was gonna say.
Of the ring and bring him.
And I'm like, you can't have Seth lose. You can't have Bray lose. You can't. I don't want them to do what they did last year, where Brock came out and next thing you know, the match just ended because Brock came out. Do you remember that? That was so dumb.
No.
Hell in a Cell. It was Braun versus Seth.
Was it the first Red Hell?
No, it was Roman versus Braun.
Oh, that was like 2 years ago.
Was it?
3 years ago?
I think it was last year, man.
That was when it was like anybody but you, Roman, or whatever.
No. It was Roman versus Braun in the Cell.
Yeah.
And Brock came out, and the match just ended because Brock came out and beat them both up. And then they went to Greatest Royal Rumble, and that's when Roman got leukemia, so he was taken out of the triple threat match and just ended up being Braun versus Brock.
Right.
I just didn't want to finish like that again, so I'm like, there needs to be a no finish, but it can't be just because the guy came out, the match ends.
And you know what? There's plenty of ways to do a good no finish.
Undertaker drags the Fiend under the ring.
Yeah, simple. Or when Fiend sees Undertaker, he does a disappearing act.
Yeah, I just don't want him to get pinned by Seth, or I don't want to see the Fiend take a curb stomp.
I like to think, and I firmly believe, we're not going to see Bray Wyatt get pinned for a long time.
Yeah.
And when he does, it's going to mean something.
But if that's not the case, and if he win, he has to win the belt. You're right. If it's not some sort of shenanigans, like I don't want to see Seth beat Bray. Period.
I don't want to see Seth beat anyone anymore.
You know, it's unfortunate because maybe you're right. Like I'm not going to complain about the hot shotting this a little bit.
Seth and Becky should both just lose those belts.
I'd rather have Seth keep going as champion and Bray do his own thing. But if they did this now, like I don't want to see Bray lose.
No.
So.
And again, it's like the old cliche. He's just one of those characters that doesn't need the belt.
He doesn't.
No, because he has good storylines, so you don't need the belt really.
And if Taker attacks him because he attacked Kane and all these people, and he wants to be the guy to stand up for the legends, and I'm not afraid of the Fiend. I'm, I'm the Lord of Darkness stuff, and we get something out of them at Survivor Series or something, that'd be great. Yeah, but yeah, that's for Raw. I love the end visual. I loved how they kept that Firefly Funhouse music and promo playing for like it felt like 3 minutes after Raw.
Long time.
And I'm like, are they trying to brainwash us here? What the hell's going on?
I think that's what they were going for. That whole put you in a trance type of vibe.
Because I didn't change the channel. I didn't stop it. I sat there and I watched it. I'm like, am I being brainwashed right now? Is this what? Because the one thing I love about the Bray character, the continuation. I can't even say the word
continuation.
Yeah, there's a word continuity or whatever.
Continuity.
That's how you say it.
I got a good lexicon, brother.
Thank you, brother. But because at the end of the day, because as much as Bray's character's evolved, he's that cult leader that's trying to get people to follow him. And now we just found a new method or a new technique to try to make it happen. And now he's the Firefly Funhouse. He's the Fiend. Let me in.
I want to see them incorporate regular Bray, maybe not in ring promos, but on the show. Maybe walking around backstage, interacting with people.
I liked how they did the Firefly Funhouse.
Have a run into R-Truth, like, hey there, Mr. Truth. Like, you know, like, and then, like, just have him, like, interact as, like, Mr. Rogers Bray with people. Because you know what? That's also going to be a different type of entertaining and a different layer to his character, which I mean the overall the wrestling part of it, and like when they really get into like serious angles, has to be like the Fiend, right? But I really want to see some interaction of Mr. Rogers Bray with like the little interaction with him and Seth was cool.
No, it was. Then there was a good way to start that.
I like that. I like how that's
it, but that's the
that's also like that's super creepy in a totally different way.
And no, the opening segment, everything about the Fiend thing is like the highlight of probably the week. And you're right. They need to have Mr. Rogers.
So fair to say, it's probably the best Raw since we started doing the show.
Yeah, no, since the show for sure.
This is like. This is the longest we've gone without having a force talking about Raw.
Yeah, and you said there's not lots to talk about. I'm like, there was a lot that happened this week. Yeah. This was a good week of Raw and SmackDown. I just like giving you a hard time because
you say that every week, even though there's like not much to talk about.
But this Raw and SmackDown was stacked. But the one thing I was on your brain note would be so funny, and I don't want to see it happen yet because it's going to ruin everything, but it would be funny if like just R-Truth ventured onto the Firefly Funhouse somehow.
Oh, that'd be so. That would be funny if they did it next week.
And he just walks out and
he's hiding, like, and he turns out he's like Rambling Rabbit or something. Yeah. His voice Rambling Rabbit's
or like some new puppet shows up. We're like, what's this
just puppet? Like have one of the puppets have the different voice, and he's just like, Truth, is that you down there? What have you done to Rambling Rabbit? Right?
And I was like, how did Truth get into the Firefly Funhouse? And he just leaves or something, or just something dumb. But I don't know how they do that because it might mess things up. But I think it'd be funny one day, eventually, down the road, if Truth is still doing the same stuff. SmackDown.
Did we talk enough about King Corbin? I mean,
no, because it happens again on SmackDown anyways. King Corbin has his coronation on SmackDown. I
did see the coronation.
Gable crushes his crown and stuff. And like I said,
Give us King Corbin versus Aleister Black.
Gable wasn't over enough in my mind to win the King of the Ring yet. Like he wasn't developed enough as a character. But him continuing to feud with Corbin, great.
I think in the beginning it was really
out of nowhere.
Kind of makes your stomach sick thinking about Baron Corbin winning the King of the Ring. Yeah. But the way they played it out, the way the matches played out, who he was faced up against, by the time he won it, you were okay with it, and you were like, okay, let's see where they're going to go with this.
And I said that like a bazillion times. And like at the beginning, obviously, I was like, oh no. But I'm like, every time I felt that, I'm like, he's going to win. And the more the people I wanted to win were getting eliminated, I'm like, there's no other option to go. Yeah.
He beat the right guys.
Yeah.
Had good matches with the littler guys that, you know, are really big fan favorites, and had really good matches with them. So you didn't hate him because you didn't want him around. You hated him because he beat people you like.
Don't want to talk about Sasha again, really, but we talked about this in the car here, and I said I wanted to.
Was that tag match on Raw or SmackDown?
The tag match was on Raw.
Yeah.
And
what did you think of that?
It was a good tag match. I enjoyed it. Alexa getting injured midway through to keep her whatever was a good way to make it like a 2-on-1 thing for Nikki Cross, and they're doing a really good job of making Bayley and Sasha the bad people.
Yep.
You know, them losing and stuff in random match, like it's not a bad thing because they're the heels, like whatever. The chair wars that happened after.
Bayley's got to change her music or something.
Yeah. Then the little Bayley buddy things need to stop too.
Stab them.
Yeah. The chair wars between Becky and Sasha. Got the exchange with the chairs, like the whole ducking each other and stuff. We don't see that often. So it was good to see like people actually ducking the chair shots and avoiding them. Like, oh, look at that, you can do that.
Yeah. Instead of just bending over.
And getting smoked in the back.
Like, please, sir, may I have another?
Charlotte's big boot when she came out was good.
Did she actually connect?
Yeah, she connected.
She misses it 9 out of 10 times.
Really knocked out, and it was good stuff. Obviously, Nia Jax tried to be a smarty on Twitter and said that
not even give her any play.
That Sasha was intentionally trying to hurt.
Yeah, coming from the girl that
Alexa Bliss.
That's hurt like 4 or 5 people.
I know.
Give me a break. Get out of here.
And then Alexa posted a gif of her doing the flip onto Sasha and Bayley. And Medusa was like, "Oh, thank God, Bayley was there to protect."
Alexa's a really good wrestler. She's allowed to make comments.
And then Alexa was like, "I know,
there's no like everybody knows her and Sasha have never really."
And that's the thing. Underlying though, like I enjoy the Sasha.
Nia's got no place to say nothing.
I enjoy the Sasha Alexa beef because they're both great in their own ways. And the fact that they block each other on Twitter.
Hasn't Nia heard Alexa before too?
I'm pretty sure, maybe.
Punch Becky in the nose. Probably heard Alexa. She heard Ember Moon. Who else has she heard? Probably heard Bayley at some point.
But I just heard her jumping in and trying to make it seem like she was I'm gonna start calling Sasha was complaining on the Chronicle, but that she was upset after she hurt Paige, and she's trying to hurt Alexa.
I'm gonna start calling her Queen Mabel.
Huh? But
what was that?
That was the most organic laugh ever because that was actually funny.
Yeah, you wanted to no sell that. You wanted to no sell that big time.
I tried to no sell it, but I sold it.
You come out here looking like Grimace.
That's so funny, man. Oh my god.
I'm here all night,
anyways,
Bang bang.
that was a good one. Yeah, no, Alexa's great. But the thing is, they have so much tension with each other. They don't like each other in real life. But you can't deny that Alexa and Sasha's chemistry against each other's opponents is always so good.
You can just go to that once Sasha beats Becky for the belt.
Yeah.
There you go. Built one.
But yeah, anyways, Raw was good. But on SmackDown, they did. We'll just talk about it now, so we'll talk about them anyways. Sasha came. It was Bayley versus. Was it? No, it was Sasha versus Charlotte. Love that feud. They went back to it. That's Sasha versus Charlotte. Good match. Charlotte connected with her moonsault. She took out Sasha and Bayley, and then Carmella got involved, which for me, excited about that. I love Carmella.
I got no issue.
She's getting she got so much better when she was a champion, like her in-ring stuff and everything. Like that period she was a champ, she got so much better at everything.
That one run she had good matches. Yeah. No complaints here.
And that last match she had with Becky and Charlotte, that was her best
she's
match.
She's charismatic. She's good on the mic. She has great matches. Kick. I mean, I think there should always be a place for her.
So I'm curious to see what they do with her next. I was so happy to see her come out there. Shout out to Carmella. She's great.
Yeah, it's nice seeing like them rotate different women.
Yeah, because I thought, I think we all assumed Becky's gonna come out now and we're gonna get the same thing happen and then it was Carmella.
Yeah,
we curveball.
We were seeing guys like Rude and Harper. We've already talked about getting more TV time. The club finally getting a look. So I mean, there's no reason you shouldn't do that for the women. You start cycling.
And I love Carmella working with Truth, but it was great to see her come out and get involved with this. And maybe she
can do. Then, like I said, you can do both. You're allowed to be our Truth friend and still be your own wrestler.
And to your point, really spawned. Like I didn't see it coming. Offset showing up to announce.
They're in Atlanta.
Charlotte. Yeah, and the Ric Flair drip and all the connection with the Flair family. But it was cool. I liked it. It's cool to get someone, because he's not like a minor C-list celebrity or anything. Not saying that other people are,
BB+.
But he's a pretty pop culture, popular guy.
The mainstream doesn't know who the hell the Migos are.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, like, there's a part of that culture. Culture.
Yeah.
That they represent.
And they're all, the culture's really big wrestling.
Yeah, and they're a big part of it. So it was cool to see him out there. And it's always great when you see someone on wrestling who's a celebrity and you know they're having fun.
Yeah.
That's the best. When someone's there and they're when you know they're having fun, like he enjoyed every second of that and you're like, it was cool, man. And the interaction with him and Charlotte in the entrance, good seeing Offset, caught me off guard, didn't see it coming, that made it even better.
Yeah.
They just came back from commercials going on. I don't know how I feel about the whole Kevin Owens, Shane McMahon suing storyline.
Do you want to get into it? Should we get into it?
Well, let's talk about it for 2 minutes or anything. Like, I just don't get it. Dude, it's cool, but like, we were here like 3 years ago.
This guy a few weeks ago was giving stunners to the boss, beating everybody up, looked like they were positioning him as the top guy above both champs.
Yeah.
And now he's crying, he's whining for his job, threatening lawsuits. What have they done? There's nothing good about this.
It's so weird.
It's horrible.
And Shane, who I thought was going to be off TV, is still here.
And it leads me to believe that they're gonna go somewhere good, because I don't think Kevin Owens would be putting it seems like he's really invested in this angle.
Yeah.
And I don't think he would be doing that if he wasn't really invested. So it must be going somewhere, and I hope it's going somewhere.
Yeah. And the whole him getting Shane,
because he's too good to just be a foot soldier for them, man.
And honestly, I thought we were done with Shane after the last pay-per-view.
Didn't see him show up on NXT, obviously. So
the little Shane putting himself in the King of the Ring thing you weren't here for that last week. That was still funny, but I thought we're done with Shane.
I just don't like him, man.
And the fact that we're at Hell in a Cell again, and we know these guys faced each other in Hell in a Cell like 3 years ago, and I'm like, we're back at the Hell in a Cell, and these guys are feuding again 2 years later around the same time. Like, I feel over it. I love Kevin. I love Shane. I'm over this.
Yeah, that's another one. I feel like they could run it through the Survivor Series.
And I guess we should point out, like, I think the rumors as of right now is that the 3 Hell in the Cell matches are going to be Sasha and Becky, which we already know.
That should close the show.
Yeah, the Fiend, but you can't with the Fiend around. That's the thing. I was if there was no Fiend,
sure you can.
I don't know. I think the Fiend, whatever, because him closing Clash of Champions, if anything bad happened that show, we left happy.
Yeah, but if they're gonna do a no finish, don't close the show with that.
But if Taker shows up, that feels like a go home happy moment.
Yeah, you're right.
But if he doesn't, then I don't know.
Yeah, right. No, so that's depending on what they do. Yeah, for sure.
But
I just feel like this feud is really good, and it's gonna be a way better match than Charlotte and Sasha was in the Cell.
For sure.
So let's leave that in our memory.
Second, I like that first one in the Cell match, but it totally good story stuff. But the table didn't break.
What's the third one you're talking about?
Oh, because that's the only one that's actually rumored. The other two are confirmed. The Fiend versus Rollins and Sasha versus Becky.
Hit me with the rumor.
The third rumored one that I've heard amongst the internet is Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns in the Cell against Harper and Rowan.
Oh, 100% I'd like that.
2 and 2.
There's not a single way that could be bad.
And the way SmackDown ended looks like we're going in that direction once again.
Roman Reigns had a good match with Eric Rowan. Just give me more of
once again for the 1,000th time. Is there anybody? We had a whole conversation about people that are confident at the mic and comfortable on the mic. Is there anybody that is so comfortable and confident on the mic than Daniel Bryan?
Nope.
Like, he is so confident and so comfortable. Like, everything he says, like, you believe it.
You got him, KO, Samoa Joe in a league of their own.
Like,
in a league of their own.
Like, he's just so, like, anything.
Like I said, we were talking about AJ Styles, how he's good at cutting promos. But when we're talking about just pure getting you into it, believability, Daniel Bryan is in a league of his own with, like I said, Samoa Joe.
Like, he's so comfortable in the mic. Like, I don't even think I'm watching someone trying to cut a promo. Like, he's just talking. There's no wheels turning. He knows what he's saying. He knows his character.
And he's hitting, like, he's got what he's got the psychology everybody talks about, man. Yeah. He hits the right points. He hits the right notes. And you buy into what he's saying. And it brings that whole suspension of disbelief right back into it.
And just the whole end segment, Harper coming back out, them demolishing Reigns and Daniel. But, like, this week was a really good week for Raw and SmackDown.
Yes.
Both shows hit like home runs.
And Vince wasn't at either show.
And he wasn't?
Nope.
See, I didn't know that. Yeah. It's the stuff you're supposed, like, that's insane.
Yeah.
And they were both so good. And I just really like.
I mean, yeah, there's enough good on Raw that it's taking, like, the second and third hour of Raw really wasn't that good.
Yeah.
The whole baby angle and all that kind of stuff. But the good that was on there was obviously, like, I feel like if we talked about this on Monday night, we wouldn't be talking about it as positively.
Yeah.
But there was enough good stuff, and the show ended well, and we had a SmackDown buffer in NXT, so now we can look on it a little more fondly. But yeah, there's a lot more room for improvement on Raw, but there was a lot of good stuff happening there.
And I'm notorious for saying, like, look, I know wrestling can be bad sometimes. I know it's not always great, but when it's good,
it should never be bad, especially when you have a roster like some of these companies do. There's no excuse for it to ever be bad.
But I always say when it's good, it's really good. When they hit the home runs, they're really good. When they know what, like, when everything falls into place, there's nothing better. Like we knew what was gonna happen.
Like the Fiend stuff.
Yeah, like we knew it was gonna happen, but, like, there's nothing better than it actually happening and
Nope.
like enjoying it.
Yeah.
There's nothing like Sasha's return from it. Like, there's nothing better than that, because when it's good, it's good. Like Stone Cold stunning AJ Styles. Like the Undisputed Era tonight. Like, when it's good, man.
It's not that hard to be good either.
When Harper showed up, when it's good, it's good.
They got all the pieces in place to always be good.
How long can they have the streak? It's not going to be like this every week. And I think we're accustomed to it enough to know it's not going to be like that every week.
I think we're going to get a few good weeks in a row here.
But if we get some ups and downs,
they look like those episodes really set them up for some momentum, because there's a bunch of stuff that happened, and I want to see what's happening.
And I actually want to tune into Raw next week. I want to tune into SmackDown next week. But last but not least, we talked about it a little bit. It was a little bit of a surprise. FTRKO faced against the New Day. Mm-hmm. Good match, solid. Don't know what they're gonna do with Orton moving forward. But I don't know.
Keep them three together, though.
I was gonna say, is this the last time we see those three together?
I hope not.
Because now that I think the Revival should be on SmackDown. It
just fits, and I want Orton to change his character a bit to fit into them as, like, we're rich, we're top guys.
Yeah, or use his personality more.
He should start dressing in, like,
they should all be three jocks that are just like not gimmicky, but like the same personality.
The Revival, especially when they're not in their wrestling gear, they play up this, like, we're rich, we wear nice shirts, we have nice watches,
which is cool.
Very Four
Horsemen. That Horseman, yeah.
But I don't like how much we're agreeing today. It's gonna make me sick to my stomach.
But how about
you just lick the microphone?
No,
you're disgusting.
I don't lick it though.
You're getting too
excited. It's a weird visual.
Yeah.
But Brock coming out, man. For some reason I didn't see it coming.
And for some reason it seems so much cooler that it was on SmackDown. And because SmackDown's the cooler show.
And isn't it just like, shout out to Maestro again, but
where are you going with this?
I'm just like, doesn't Brock just seem more of a badass when he has a little bit of a beard?
Yeah.
Like clean shaven Brock and bearded Brock.
It's so healed too. I know you don't watch UFC, but he had a beard for.
No, he know, and I said that like even back then, and I love that. And I believe that he's more of a guy that's gonna kick your ass when he has a beard.
He looks like more of a fucking dickhead.
Yeah. When he has a beard, and I'm like, when he came out with some facial, I'm like, thank God, because I'm like, you look like someone that a little bit more intimidating with your facial hair.
Yeah.
It's just you baby face, clean shaven Brock Lesnar doesn't make me think he's as much as a badass as.
Don't say that out loud, man. I don't want to get beat up.
I mean, he's the man though, regardless. Yeah. So, final prediction of the week, I guess.
What does that mean?
Do you think?
Is this a new thing we're doing?
No,
I don't even have any notes.
Because I don't have any. I do have Instagram comments of the week actually that we're not probably gonna get to, because a lot of people had opinions about shows. But I feel like we talked about everything.
No, you know what? Next week.
I missed out on it.
Next time or next week or next time there's a pay-per-view, let's read some of those, because those are fun to comment, and I wouldn't mind ripping some of these people apart.
No, there was some interesting comments. But while I'm looking, who do you got for the Fox premiere? Kofi or Brock?
Kofi.
You think Kofi's going over?
I hope Kofi goes over because it's just a cool win, and that might get the people back into him.
Yeah.
But I mean, if the rumors are true that Brock's gonna be having more dates and be on Fox a lot more, then let's see Brock. Let's get Brock versus Alistair. Let's get Brock versus Joe.
Is it the AEW formula of let's put the title on a recognizable person?
That's a WWE formula.
I know, but I'm saying they just did it. They just did it with Jericho. Going to Fox. Do you think they want to? Because it's smart. It's a smart move.
Yeah, and I also think Fox might have a big say in that too.
Yeah, and it's a really smart move.
Because they, for a long time, had UFC on their Fox Sports channel, and they know their viewers are accustomed to and know who Brock Lesnar is.
No matter what anybody says, no matter how annoying it is when he's champion, he's never around sometimes and stuff. And I say he doesn't need to be a champion all the time because the point blank, the bottom line, Brock's an attraction.
Yeah.
People know who he is. If I have friends that haven't watched wrestling in years and can't tell you who Kofi Kingston is or who Seth Rollins is, they'll be like, oh, Brock's on the card?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Because he is.
People will message me and be like, who's Brock Lesnar fighting?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Because he's someone that people know. And there's only a few of those guys. There's Lesnar. There's the Cena's.
There's
the
Lesnar
Ordens,
and Cena.
Even Ordens. I got a lot of people that...
And Undertaker.
Those guys. Guys that were around... Yeah, guys that were around up until I'll say 2005, because that's when most people stopped watching. Mm-hmm. They know those guys.
Yeah.
Anybody post 2005, they'll be like, I don't know who this is. You know what I mean? And so I think it makes total sense, man. Kick off the Fox premiere on SmackDown on Friday nights with Lesnar and Kofi. It's like we predicted.
It'd be awesome, man. Lesnar wins. You think the show's going out on Fox, first night on Fox, Lesnar's holding the title high, celebrating. Yeah. And Cult of Personality hits.
That'd be so...
I make myself sad just thinking about
excited.
it.
But even if Kofi loses, it gives him a reason to try to get it back, you know?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It gives him a story. Because if Kofi loses and then he has to get it back, at least we can get behind Kofi again as the underdog. Because once again, sometimes when people are champions,
and they might not do it. You make really good points with this whole Fox stuff, and they might not do it. But I mean, Kofi winning and then Big E finally turning would be, I think that's a program that could take them through for a few months because New Day's been together a long time.
Another cool way they could go with it is having Brock lose the match to Kofi because of an RKO out of nowhere.
Or because New Day helped him and Kofi's like, dude, I wanted to win this on my own.
That too. But I just think, because I'm like, what would Brock do after a feud Orton? That'd be good.
Yeah.
Because we want to see that about a month ago when that Battle Royal happened.
Yeah, let's see more head blood.
Yeah. Let's have because that match ended that way, let's have a proper match. That could be the story. Let's have a clean finish. Let's figure out who really would have won that match. Yeah. If you didn't get all angry and knocked me out, you know? Yeah. Just ideas. Those ideas are out there. Is there anything else?
You tell me you got the...
No, I closed it.
You got the list of things you want to talk about.
There was nothing else to really talk about.
Yeah.
It was a good week.
Lots to talk about, though. Lots to talk about, of course, like always.
Check out the wrestling.
Tune in next week for the Sasha Banks Appreciation Show.
Every week for the Sasha Banks Appreciation Show. And next week I'll be rocking my Chalk Line Carmella jacket because Mel has money.
Yeah.
You can check us out on Spotify.
I'll wear my Maestro shirt.
iTunes and Google Play. And on YouTube, obviously, on the Vibe, because we're live from the Vibe every week. Some of the old episodes I might be throwing on the Wrestling Classic channel, just to archive them a bit. So if you want to go back and watch some of those, do the thing. Anything else? Shout out to Maestro, man. The stuff they sent us is great. Shout out for Wrestling for Sale. If you're one of those people that wants to sell stuff, like if you have old merch or you're like a company that doesn't really have a website and a store and a shop, Wrestling for Sale just opened up a shop where you can sell your products and your business stuff through his website. You can kind of like how Pro Wrestling Tees, you can open up your own shop, but this is not just t-shirts. Like if you sell memorabilia, if you sell vintage merch, if you sell pins or action figures, like he opened up a shop where everyone can start selling their stuff through there. And I think that's super cool, and he's a really good guy. Shout out to Ted. Awesome dude. Check out Wrestling for Sale.
Check him out.
The website. But yeah, man, it's been a good week, brother. Hopefully next week we'll be this excited to talk about Raw and SmackDown as we were this week. Because we know when it's good, but it's not a every week occasion like it once upon a time was.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Is this it?
Boom. All the gold, baby. Dripping in the gold.
I'm actually looking forward to see NXT next week because this week was enjoyable for what I did see.
Yeah.
And yeah, man.
Hopefully the network works next week.
Yeah, the network. Anything else? You can find D-Lal on Twitter at DLAL1990. Send him all the stupid tweets and then good information so he can bring it to the table. And yeah, man, check out the Wrestling Class. I'll be dropping some posts, and you guys know where to find me and everything. I think we're good. We're at the Vibe. I want to call it quits. I'm just dragging this on for absolutely positively no reason. And I think it's time to go.
It's dinner time.
Oh, yeah. Feed me more. It's a different guy, but we're going to do it. Dig it.